All right, good evening, everybody. Today is February 24th, 2022, and we're here with Chris Hauser tonight. My name is Tad. I am the host of this call, and I also run the website youhavetheright.com. And if you want to have more reliable, up-to-date notifications of these calls and other things, go to youhavetheright.com and please join our mailing list. That way we can send you an email. Right now we're having a little bit of problems with the email. Things aren't working out quite the way we want, so we might be another 1 or 2 weeks delayed in getting things worked out the way we want. So, Chris, do you have any kind of a lesson or message or something you want to talk about before we get into questions?
Yeah, just briefly, the show with Crow 777 went real well. It hasn't been edited yet and put on the site, but I'm assuming that's going to be fairly soon. I'm supposed to get a notice. But mainly, I would like to talk just briefly about the loss that our thing is, our whole thing is. Actually, it's got me a little messed up. It really has. Karen passed away. Karen Smith. She was a staunch advocate of what we were doing, and she was an older woman, 67. I thought she was a little older than that by the way she sounded, but she was a smoker. That might have had something to do with it, and I don't blame her for the things that she was going through, Tad. Yeah, she was into some serious stuff with the feds and the IRS and the bank wanted to foreclose on her home. We spoke briefly Thursday, and the sheriff was supposed to have come out and threw all of her stuff out, hauled all of her stuff out on Friday. I told her that the only thing I thought that she could do to slow the process down would be to put a UCC1 on there, the UCC1 lien. And I would suggest that to anybody who's looking at foreclosure, an imminent foreclosure. If you haven't done it, do it. Do that UCC1. Make that, if your house is only worth $250,000, make it out for $1 million. And do that, because they may take your house, they may put you out, but they're not going to get paid until you get paid. So that will slow it down long enough for you to catch your breath and get some paperwork in on them. She was fighting really hard. Her husband had no idea the kind of situation that she was in. Marie didn't know much about it anyway. He was kind of in the dark. She was the one to handle all the finances and stuff. And she done a fantastic job in the Telegram group. She was the one that suggested, her and her friends contacted me and suggested that we start a Telegram channel. That's been Telegram's it's had its good days and its bad days. There's a lot of good that's came out of it. A lot of people with genuine intent have gone in there and then come out and gone into different groups. There's still quite a few charlatans, and I get them. I got one before the show just started. There's a guy in there trying to sell a process. So, that right there is I've noticed is really common. It's happening in the YouTube channel. These guys have they've had their page up or their channel up for 4 years, and they don't even have 2,000 views, and they get in the comment section, and all they're trying to do is disrupt the flow of conversation that people are having to get you to go over and look at their page, watch their videos. They make all kinds of outrageous claims. And I usually call them out. Look, if you're so certain of that, go ahead and put your address up in this comment section. And they don't. They leave. They take their comments off. And that happens. But Karen's going to be crazy missed. I talked with her, Tad.
Yeah.
Every couple of twice or three times a week, I would do these little Zooms with her and Tara and some of the other people. But she was a vital, a vital individual in what we were doing, and a close confidant. I'll miss her. I really will. I never seen her face until I seen the obituary. Tara said the same thing. I know this lady. I talked with her 2 or 3 times a week for 7 years. Never seen her face, and that's the way a lot of us will. I may not see a lot of y'all's faces, but we're all going to develop these relationships over time. Where I'm blessed to have known all of you, and even what little bit of conversation that we do have. But that's what's been going on. Another thing too, we're trying to close up all the little loose ends to the 1099A process. There's a lot of people in here talk about, well, I got this guy to take this and that guy to take this, and then you find out, when I go looking into this, for instance, there was a gal on there who shared some photographs of some emails from a guy who claimed, we'll take you to 1099A. Once we started looking into the information that this gal would give us, these guys were working out of an office building, claiming to be a car rental place. They were going to sell her a car. And I've never been to a car rental place that didn't have cars on the lot. But it didn't take much. Look at the website to find out these people didn't even spend $50 on their website. And I can imagine that someone was getting in the Telegram channel, and told this kind middle-aged gal trying to get a car for her to take her children around in. Come on down here. They're trying to get your information. And it didn't take long to vet these people to find out that the website hadn't even been up 2 days. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to collect all the information that we can get on the legitimate process. People that are legitimately getting contacts with these dealerships and these real estate agents, and just recently I read one about somebody found an RV place that took a 1099A, said they'd take a 1099A for a travel trailer. That was yesterday. We'll try this, and we need to get a hold of these people to evaluate the success, because before we can get this brokerage off and running, we need to be able to calm the nerves of the accountants, and because they're how accountants are. They're down to earth and nerdy like, and we got to make sure that we're doing everything right, and so we're trying to do that. And when these charlatans and these scammers are out here, it's hard to separate the chaff from the wheat, and all it's doing is it's hurting it, and it's slowing down the process. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I've done all week, is I've tried to connect with people who have claimed to have had success, and well, I got a message or a call from the IRS lady, and well, I want to talk to this IRS lady. I want to talk to you, and I want to find out exactly what it was that the IRS lady said to you. If this is going to work, I want to know every little detail of how you got it to work for you, how someone else got it to work for them, how 6 different people had it to work. Because if I took the information from all 6 of these people, we could put together a surefire template or outline that anyone could walk in and go, look, this is what you do, A, B, C, D, E, and then we're having success. One thing about it is Crow made this point in the interview. They seen the first video where I was in there with this board, this permit board, and they seen that the success that I had by the responses that I gave, and it worked. That was 4 months ago. My friend's putting a roof on the building and getting the inside cleaned out, and there's not so much as a peep of these inspectors around. They've totally stepped away from this deal. Now that's successful. Now I can teach, you guys can look at the video and see how I did that. I can teach you step by step how to do these people this way. From here on out, you'll never have a problem with any of these inspectors that come around. That's the same thing we want to do with the information that we can glean, from the successes. And it's hard to do that when so many people out here are putting up scams. That's where most of my time is going now, folks. 40% is in answering messages, and 60% is in here trying to run down, what's the truth and what's a lie. That's where I'm at, man. I want this to work for everybody. There's a method to this madness, and once we can pinpoint it, we can pin it down, we can take advantage of it. But that's what's happened in my week. I've also I've been speaking with a couple of guys who are Moors, and they've been telling me about their stuff that they've got, and they wanted to contact the brokerage guy to see if they would take if they'd take like a $1.8 million bond, for some cars, and see how that worked. And I started talking to him. I said, well, tell me what it is that you got. What do you want me to, what kind of bait we're talking here that do I need to dangle in front of this brokerage's face, so I'm not just going there going, hey, there's some guys who want to talk to you about this and that. I don't want to waste my guy's time. His time's super valuable. He was the one that told me about the scam at the, what's the website? I told him the website. He looked it up, and he said, hey, I looked into this a little bit while we're on the phone. I looked into this here a little bit, and this website's only been up 2 days. This is something's fishy about that. Well, he's got the power, and he's got he's having his secretary research this website while we're talking on the phone. I don't want to waste his time with nonsense. I want to be able to talk to him and go, look, I've dealt with these 3 people, and these are the contacts that we got. Here's one of them that works for the IRS. We want to get the gist of this down, so people don't have to scam. If this process works out well, nobody's got to scam anybody anymore.
Yeah,
We're all just getting ours. You know what I mean? So that's what I've been working on, and but I really appreciate all the people who have said such beautiful things. If you go to the funeral home's website and leave a comment, or just go in there and read the comments, man, that people have made about Karen, and that's what I want her family to see. Well, maybe Karen wasn't so crazy. There's 800 people that left messages. Every one of them said they've never seen her, but, know her and are thankful that she was in their lives, And I really appreciate everyone that's done that. And all the comments on the video. A lot of people never even knew her. They never knew her at all. But just reading the comments of others made them go, man, I didn't even know this lady, but she sounds fantastic. She'll be sorely missed, man, by me and a lot of folks. And that's what's happened this week, y'all.
All right. If you have a question, you can hit *6 on your phone. I see a number here from, I think, Portland, 503 area code. Their name is CDA. I'm going to start with them first. When your phone unmutes, it's your turn.
Yeah, hey, Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, brother.
Hey, listen, I want to ask you a question about doing some conditional acceptances, but what I'm doing is I've got another person in another state. My question is, would I have to inform the Attorney General of that state? So it's two separate states I'm doing.
No, just the Attorney General of the state that you're doing this in. They're going to be the ones that are going to witness. I don't care who you are or what state you're in. If you've got someone that isn't in the state, like for instance, this is a fraud thing, and you're doing it from 7 years ago, and one of these lawyers is in another state. It doesn't matter. You're going to send them the conditional acceptance, and you're going to notice the Attorney General of the state that you're filing it in. Well, actually, not filing it in, but the one that you're mailing it in. Okay.
Yeah, I always do that too. I always do the filing thing, but it's the serving them. So I'm in Oregon, for instance, and so one of the people I'm serving this on is in Nevada. So I wouldn't need to serve the Nevada Attorney General at all.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay, very good. That is my question. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
In your recent videos, you talk about the conditional acceptance and assigning that conditional acceptance to the Treasury for collection. And you have your claim to lien documents and assignment documents, that kind of stuff. But you also go into filling out the 1099-A, the 1099 OID, and all those other things. Can we assign this claim, the conditional acceptance claim, to the Treasury without having to fill out those IRS forms?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I suggest you don't. In the videos that I put in there, Tad, I showed the one I'm assuming that you're talking about is the claim of lien video.
Okay.
In the claim of lien video, I show you the first 2 pages of the claim of lien, the back of the second page, which is the monetized part. And then I show the UCC1 and I show the UCC3. You're not going to do that. None of you all should be doing that. What you would do, Tad, is you would do the first 2 pages of the video and then the back of it. Okay? Say you have you've got your conditional acceptance and all the green cards that came back. Okay? Now you can take those first 3 pages that I show, well, the first 2 pages and the back of the second, and just disregard the UCC1 and the 3. You're creating, those are the claim, that is the claim of lien.
Okay.
What I was showing you, those first 2 pages, That's the claim of lien. That's the one that's monetized. The only reason I showed the 1 and the 3 is because when we did the UCC 1s and the 3s, we attached those to the claim of liens that we created.
Right.
The reason that I wanted to show you all that is because I wanted you to understand what the UCC looked like, what the 1 and the 3 looked like. Because especially the 3, when you look at the 3, you'll start to see what that is. That 3 is an assignment document or an assignment agreement. Okay?
Well,
so look at that, you could get an understanding of what I was about to get into, and that the next video is the assignment document.
Now, what I was referring to specifically are the tax form documents. Can we assign it without those tax form documents?
Oh, you're talking about the 1040 that we did.
Well, and the OIDs and the 1099A and all that stuff. Can we just assign it to the Treasury without any of those forms?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's what we were doing in prison. What you guys were seeing me do was how we were doing it when we were using the UCC 1s. And you don't even have to do, when you're doing the contract with the Treasury, you don't even have to do the 1099A. Because what you're doing in the contract with the Treasury is you're going, look, you have the power of attorney to create whatever you deem necessary to create the lien securities. What I'm doing, or what I'm wanting people to do now with the documents, the contract to the Treasury, is to disregard the UCC 1s and the 3s,
right,
and the 1099 A's and the OIDs and the 90s. Really, you can even you don't even need the pay voucher, because what you're doing in the contract, if you think about what I'm trying to explain, you're going to do the lien securities or the claims of lien. Those will be the lien securities that you're going to assign. You create the assignment agreement, right?
Right.
Then you turn around and create the contract. And in the contract with the Treasury, you can use the language from the example that I showed when I started teaching about the contract, the 2 videos about the contract. You can use that language, but you don't have to use it all. You use what is fitting. You make your own. You can put your own terms in the contract, because you're sending this. You're going to be sending to the Treasury. You're going to be sending the conditional acceptance. You're going to be sending the claims of lien, and you're going to be sending the assignment document along with the contract to the Treasury. And in the contract to the Treasury, you're basically going to be saying the same thing I say in the contract, but you're going to disregard all the tax documents, the 1040 and all that. You're going to do that because what you're doing is you're assigning the security to the Treasury, and you're giving them the power of attorney to do whatever it takes to create the lien securities to collect. That's how simple that contract's going to be. Y'all's contract's going to be a lot more simpler than ours, because you're not going to have to add all that. In your cover letter, you're going to add, enclosed you'll find an original conditional acceptance, and you will also find the original green cards with the wet signature, and you'll also find the claim of liens 1 through whatever, how many you got, and the assignment document, and that'll be it in the contract. None of the stuff you have to do for taxes, because you're going to give the securities to the Treasury, and you're telling them, I don't care how you create the lien securities. I don't even need to know.
Right.
I'll thank you so that I could do this for myself, maybe help you along a little bit more, but I don't really even need to know how you do it. Here it is. You do it. Let me know when my check is ready to get kicked out.
Okay, awesome. So this next week, I think I'll get going on it.
Yeah, man. Let me know how it goes, Tad. Send me some pictures, and we can go over it together if you want me to. Any of you all out there, send me pictures of it. If I don't get to it right away, within a day or so, hit me up some other way. Annoy the hell out of me with your continuous messages. Hey, Chris,
be careful.
Did you get a chance to look at my thing? Because look at y'all, I'm trying to do my best to answer questions of stuff that you already have. I want to look at your 1099As, and I want to look at your contracts, and I want to look at your conditional acceptances. That's the stuff I want to look at.
Okay. So we got a bunch of people in the queue right now. Thank you for that question. Okay, Brian.
Hello, folks. I hope you're having a great evening.
What if I'm not?
Too bad.
Too bad. Over.
Just too bad.
So in your mind, Brian?
Okay. I'm purchasing a house off of a friend of mine, and there's nothing owed on the house. I want to use this 1099 on it. So basically, I would give it to them, and they would have to fill out the. Now wait a minute. When I give them the 1099, am I the lender then, or do we still put U.S. Treasury?
No. Treasury is always going to be the lender. It's always going to be the borrower.
Okay.
On the 1099A, folks, I don't care what you're doing with it. The lender is always going to be the Treasury. You are always going to be the borrower. Now, your friend that you're buying the house from, he's going to do the OID. He's going to do the 1096 and the 1040V and the 1199A if he wants to get it the money quicker. They're going to fill all that out with their information. The only thing I got to say about that is on the 1099A, do not check box 5. And on the 1096, have your friend that's selling you the house or the dealership or whoever sign that, and then their title is not going to be beneficiary. They'll be the beneficiary of the check, but their title will be something else. It'll be in your situation, you would be or they would be trustee. If it's the broker, it would be the trustee. Their title would be trustee. And I tell you what, you don't even have to put a title in there. You can leave it totally blank. Sign the check and date it, or sign the 1099, the 1096, and then date it. You don't even have to put a title in there. The reason you guys see title in beneficiary in mine is because I am the beneficiary. The money didn't come. The money for the lien securities that I created didn't come from my trust. They came from someone else's.
Okay, now you still sign the 1099A on the back.
Yeah, you still sign copy A, the very first copy. Don't separate them. Void the ones out that you're not using, and send them all in. Because as soon as the treasurer pays, they're going to send the borrower back the copy B.
Okay, they do all that. Okay, perfect. Now the other thing is I kept come across a thing called an A281, which is the description of the OID. 8281, and I kept reading that it is a must you have to turn in when you do an OID.
We
8281.
We never did. All I can say about that is if it makes you feel better, send it in. It's not going to hurt.
Okay, perfect.
You've got to understand that we're using these documents in a different light than what they're usually used in. We're using them without prejudice. We're using them because there's no other way that we know of to do this process. Like I said, I've heard that you got to send that, but I'm telling you, we didn't. We did a bunch of these. Some of us did 3 and 4 different contracts with the Treasury, and they kept them every one. They kept them, folks. And what I say about them keeping them, if the dealership is keeping the 1099-A and not sending it back to you, well, then they've accepted the payment. If the mortgage company is accepted the 1099-A, they're not giving it back to you. They've accepted the payment. So,
okay, and I got one. Go ahead.
If they've accepted these things without prejudice, then they've already got them. It's not a question of whether or not they will. They already have. So did that help answer your question?
Yes. Just one more thing, and I'm done. Okay, I've made mention to you once before. A friend of mine got a 1099-A from the bank from a foreclosure. There was a certain amount. They put the bank at the top as a lender. They were the borrower. They've checked yes for box 5, and the amount of money that was in the fair market value is actually what the house sold for.
Okay.
Now, am I to take that and turn that around and make her the lender and the bank the borrower, and send that back in and change that? Because it looks like and I called them, and they said, and I guess when you check that box, they said, because when they checked the box, that became an acquisition of abandonment.
Yeah.
Is what they said that was. So they already collected on it, and it only got sold in August of last year. And I looked up the law, and it says they have 3 years for abandoned money.
Yeah.
The people do.
Yeah.
So how would I change that form? Would I put her up as the lender now, and them the borrower, and just keep the same numbers?
I would put them. I would put the Treasury as the lender and her as the borrower, and then not.
And just put that amount in it and that account, because they did put an account on it. They did put account number. Okay, so just make it up normally. Yeah. Put that account number is going to, or coming from.
Yeah. Put the account number in the bottom, the lower left hand, and then put the Treasury as the lender, and you as or her as the borrower.
And then have her sign the back.
Yeah, have her sign the back.
Okay, now would she get that back, or would she just get credits?
No, she'll get that back.
Does she have to do OID or anything? Will she have to do the OID or anything, or will the check automatically come back?
No, she'll have to do the OID.
Okay, and the 1040V.
And the 1040V. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll come back to her.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure before I do that. I'm going to do that this weekend. I'll send you a copy of it and let you look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me look at it.
All right,
okay, I will.
Look,
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great evening. Yes.
Okay, but but look, cover up your Social Security number, please.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Okay. All right.
Once I fill it out, I'll scan it, and then I'll just mark everything off at that point.
Yeah, or you can just cover it with a piece of paper. I'll be able to see the rest. Use black ink if you're not going to use black ink.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Well, okay. I think, Kevin, you're next.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening.
Oh, okay. I've got a couple of questions. The first one is my son got in a little bit of trouble at school. I live in a very small town, but I live right across the street from the high school. He was missing some days, and then the school called me and said that I could be called in for truancy, and I was like, well, what the heck's that? And they said, well, you could get fined or go to jail. And so they sent home a contract. First of all, my son is not 18. And I read the contract, and I was trying to show my son, I said, your Social Security number is not on here, but your student ID is. I said, they've already, huh?
And that's attached to the Social Security number. When you registered your
Yes.
child, they attach that.
And they backdated the contract 10 days, and I said, now look at this. They've already started creating fraud. And they wanted to have him sign it, me sign it. And I wrote them back a note, and I said, I don't understand why you're backdating this 10 days. My son is 17. That's illegal for you to ask him to sign a contract. And I said, in this contract, there's no give and take here. You guys are the beneficiary of everything, and we get all of the trouble if we sign this. And I told the school, we are not going to sign this. I will make sure that my son makes up the work, yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking that I may have to create a conditional acceptance with this. If I do I send it to the superintendent or the principal or both?
Yeah, you send it to the primary will be the superintendent, and you're going to the principal is going to be, and I don't mean principal of the school. The principal is going to be the school district. That's going to be the principal, and then you're going to hit the superintendent, the principal of the school, and anybody else that touched that document. You're right. You cannot require a 17-year-old to sign a contract. It would be void anyway. What you could do, here's what you could do if you really want to mess with them. Go in there and say, what happens if I don't sign this? Have you tried that?
No, I've already sent. They left a big space underneath the contract, and I wrote my letter on that. He sent it back to him. I haven't heard back from him, but just in case I do, that's why I was thinking if I need to prepare a conditional acceptance to stop all this nonsense.
Whenever you get in a situation like that where somebody wants you to sign a contract and you don't feel like doing it, ask them, well, what's going to happen if I don't sign this? Oh, well, then we'll hold you truant. We'll have you arrested and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'll sign it under fraud, menace, duress, and extortion. And write that without prejudice under fraud, menace, duress, and extortion. And then put your beneficiary signature at the bottom and hand it to them. The minute they accept it, the contract is void. Not only that, they just committed fraud, menace, duress, and extortion. That's a lot more trouble you're going to get in than a truancy.
Okay, I did. When I finished the letter, I did sign it with my beneficiary signature, and above that, I wrote without prejudice. And below it, I wrote all rights reserved. Yeah. So I was letting them know I'm not going to be responsible for any other contracts that may be attached to this that I'm unaware of. So
exactly. They're going to lift that signature. Normally, they lift the signature off and they start creating all kinds of crap. That's where you're at. Yeah, I would do it. I would get one ready. And I'd have it ready to date the top of the letter and send it in to them. It might not even hurt to do it right now. Go ahead and get it.
Okay.
Their asses. And once that goes down, they shouldn't be able to do anything to you. I would also find out. Well, I don't know if you can do them yet because they haven't posted yet. Because there will be, if there's going to be any criminal action taken on it, well, then you'd need to get the circuit court and the clerk and the, all that other stuff. I'd get to school first off. I get to school and the board.
Okay.
I told all of them. Well, guess what you just got? Mess with me again. And I'll be owning the school. Yeah.
All right. My other question was. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Quickly, please.
My other question was last week you had mentioned about the broker you were talking to. Won't that eliminate a lot of the shysters and all of that from coming, trying to take people away and try something else and all of that and get people in trouble?
Yeah, it will. Be able to fill out one piece of paper and they're going to take care of you. We're also working up a thing to if you've done the conditional acceptance, you got the contract with the Treasury, you're one of the $100 million guys. You'll be able to write letters of credit to the brokerage, and that'll be later on down the road. Right now we're talking about just the 1099A, but later on down the road you'll be able to write letters of credit. Later on down the road, y'all will be able to go to realtors. We're trying to get together a conglomeration of realtors they'll sell you houses, get some of these homeless people in homes and veterans in homes, homeless veterans in homes, and disabled people in homes that can't really afford them. That's coming. Hopefully. We just got to get past these first few speed bumps and get this thing running.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Andrew, you've been waiting. Thank you. You're next.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you real good.
It's your new greenhorn friend, Andrew. Hey, a couple questions. So my first question is, I submitted my W-8-DEN to my work payroll department several weeks back, and on my most recent check, they still took out over $1,000 worth of FICA and, Social Security and federal and state and all that. And so I talked to the payroll department, and they use ADP, which is basically like a portal for employees, where you can, check your pay stubs and stuff like that. And I explained to him, like, hey, you guys still took out taxes. Why is this? And he's like, well, I need to talk to, the rep that runs ADP. And so I was like, well, you guys still owe me this money, and they took out quite a bit because I had a pretty good check on commissions. But needless to say, I'm still waiting to hear back. So I don't really know how to press the issue. And I've heard some other things about filling out a Form 56. Is that something that I really need to do? It basically kind of puts me in, a different jurisdiction, with the IRS, and puts them on notice, kind of. But they checked a box when they submitted it to ADP. They checked a box that made me a non-resident alien. Is that the correct status or not?
That's what you'll be, or be considered. The thing about that, about the W-8, first off, the only thing it's going to withhold is your FICA taxes. They're still going to take out your insurance. They're still going to take out Social Security and Medicare and all that. Workman's comp, all that stuff's going to come out. The only thing that it stops is FICA tax. Okay, the federal income taxes that are withheld. The 56, you shouldn't have to do that. I don't know why everybody's so fired up with using this 56. All the 56 is a way of identifying who the who the trustee is, who the fiduciary is. We already know that. if your company's got your Social Security number, they don't have to be notified that they are, because they are.
Correct.
A lot of problems, about half of y'all that do this have trouble with the companies, and the other half don't. Believe me, I look at W-8s every other day, and a lot of people are having a lot of success. One guy just sent me a message.
What's the best way to press the issue then without, basically crapping in my own nest, so to speak,
It sounds like your company's already down with this. The thing about the W-8 DEN, folks, is they stopped withholding your FICA taxes. Well, the company that you're working for also files the W-8 BEN-E. That's for the employer. When the employer files that along with your W-8 BEN, the employer stops matching you FICA taxes. If you want to talk to your people, say, look, when you do this for me, then you do the E. You'll do the W-8.
That's what I told them. Yeah, I emailed the payroll guy. I said, hey, if you want to remove liability from withholding for me, then just fill out the W-8 BEN-E, and you guys won't have to withhold anymore.
Yeah, that's how that works. And most companies, when they realize that, they're like, damn, we could have been doing this with all of our employees.
Right.
Think about this, folks. When you're working for a company and they're withholding taxes from you and they're matching taxes from you, well, then they're paying the IRS this money. Well, then they're acting as a collection agency for the IRS, and they're doing it for free.
Correct.
There's no way. If I own the company, there's no way. Okay, IRS, you want me to collect money for you? Okay. When are you going to start paying me? I'm not doing this for free. I'm not doing your job for free. Right. And that's what happens when you do this. They stop paying too. And especially these small businesses where they've got 8 employees or 10 employees or even 20. They're saving a buttload of money by not having to match those funds. The one problem that most people have with the W-8 is, our lawyer said we can't file that, or our HR said we can't file that. Yes, you can, and you will, because it is a felony not to file when an employee asks you to file. Not only that, you need to get your head wrapped around. Actually, you need to get their head wrapped around the fact that the United States is a foreign corporation. That's why you're filing the W-8 in the first place. I am not an employee of the foreign corporation, and it's only employees of the United States who are required to file taxes. That's what's really up. And so when you do it, when you do the W-2, you're saying I'm a good old United States employee. Here's the money I'm gifting to you. I'm sharing my gift with you. That's what folks need to know. The best way to prove that they're a foreign corporation is to print off a copy of the Act of 1871. Print it off and then take it in there and say, look, it says right here they're a foreign corporation. Wise up, HR guy. You're not a United States citizen.
I understand. Yeah, that definitely answers my question. It's just pressing them until I get the money back that they already took out. My other question was, real quickly, let's say I satisfy the obligation with the 1099 in a dealership. Obviously, they have an MSO for the vehicle, but they're going to want me to try and transfer it to the state. How do I get off the lot with the vehicle without, them trying to – because they're going to want to be like, well, we're not going to give you the MSO. They're going to want to try and have me transfer it to the state or whatever. But obviously the MSO is the original title, and you can just hold that as title,
Absolutely.
So what's the best way to go about, handling the dealership if they're trying to press you to transfer it to the state when all you want to do is just hold the MSO as title?
Yeah, okay. Well, first off, the bill of sale is the proof that you own it. You really don't need it. But look, if you want it, tell them you're going to register it in another state. I'm taking this vehicle right now today, and I'm going over here in North Carolina. Because as soon as I get this vehicle, tomorrow I'm moving from, I'm moving for Greenville, Tennessee, over into Hot Springs, North Carolina. I'm going to register this in North Carolina. They will give it to you because they cannot register, take that, an MSO or MCO or whatever you want to call it from whatever state. They can't do that to another state. So when you tell them, I'm not going to register it in Tennessee because, I'm going to register this in another state, they'll give it to you. They'll say, okay, here it is. You go, here. Just make sure when you get to where you're going that you register it in the other state. It's like
it's a different. How about a different?
If I go over to North Carolina and I buy a car in North Carolina, and I say, well, I live over here in Tennessee, they're going to give me that, and then I'm going to have to file that in Tennessee, or they're going to want me to anyway. But you don't really need it, man, because all you need is that bill of sale. That bill of sale is proof of ownership.
Correct. Yep.
All right.
Just tell them. I'm going to tell them I'm taking it to a different state of mind. How about that?
Well, just tell them you're taking it to another state.
Right. Absolutely. I got you, brother.
Your definition of state may be different than theirs.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thanks,
so we
Chris.
got some other people waiting. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
brother.
Pro Tile Team, you're next. Area code 228.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you guys for making time out of your lives to, help other people. That's awesome. My name's Belinda. This is a two-part question. So on February 8th, I was ambushed by several public servants at the courthouse, and they assaulted me and battered me. They chained me. They kidnapped me. They transported me to another location. There was another 6 or 7 other public servants over there that tortured me for over 3 hours, strapping me to a torture chair and locking me in a small room. And then they extorted me to sign a ransom, which they call a bond, demanding that I sign this paper, otherwise I wouldn't be released. They wouldn't let me sign it like I wanted, and it was under great duress. So they forced me to sign the bond, and I was finally freed. So I have to return on, sounds crazy, but that's the truth of the matter of what happened. I was exercising my free speech at the courthouse, and I was also, trying to defend myself against these people. They're trying to say that I had an obstruction of justice. So they sent me a letter in the mail, and it was for arraignment, and I responded within 72 hours. I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. If I am, tell me to slow down. Okay, I'm just trying to make it quick. And so I did a 72-hour refusal for cause for arraignment, and I sent that out, registered mail. I'm going to go ahead and go, and be present in sui juris. I'm going to make a divine special appearance with your opening script that I have. But let's see what else I want to say. So in the meantime, while I was being held captive, some of my family members were trying to talk to other people like the lieutenant, and they said, well, if you just make a complaint, we're just going to throw it right in the trash. We've looked at the videos and all this other stuff. So they're not going to do anything with it on a local level. I've tried to get their bond information, and I can't get that. But when this was all happening, I let them know, look, I am I'm an American national. I do not consent. And they put their hands on me. I was trying to defend myself from being, abducted, which ultimately happened anyway. I still have a black eye from February 8th from, how they did that to me. But so I want to know, Chris, do I need to do the conditional acceptance there? Because it wouldn't even take my complaint. And it's like, they're squashing it. They're all in on it. They're all part of the same, they're contractors, but they're just out of hand. They're totally, y'all know, they're just doing things that are just so unconstitutional. And so I wanted to know, do I do a conditional acceptance for that? I'm hoping that this would be my opportunity to admit the facts of what they did to me, because I know that, if I get the facts and I have the affidavit, I think I can get that submitted into evidence. And then does that need to be notarized? Do I submit it before the court date? Because I know that some of those people have you have to admit it into this by, 3 to 5, 7, whatever days before the court, or can I use the opportunity to submit it into evidence during the court? That's my first question.
Okay, let me answer that. We'll move on to the second. First off, don't submit anything. Okay?
Okay.
The minute you guys move on the court, you give them jurisdiction. If you submit something to the court, you've just granted them jurisdiction. And so far you haven't, I'm assuming. Because
no, I haven't submitted anything.
Absolutely.
Right. All I did was the refusal for cause.
You don't need to put anything into the case or submit anything into the record. And this is why, because when you do, you grant jurisdiction. If you're going in and you're saying, look, I think you're wrong, and this is what I say, put it into the case. What they're going to do is that you just granted them jurisdiction. What you need, when's the date?
So they wanted me arraigned on it's April 8th, I think now. And then my court date, I'm sorry, so March 8th is when they said, hey, come for your arraignment, even though they already pulled the bond and all that stuff. And then they want me to, I got my first appearance when I had to sign off on this bond. That's for March 22nd. But I did a 72-hour refusal for arraignment. And I'm going to go anyway, but I'm going to go divine special appearance. And it's March. I'm sorry. Pardon?
Yeah, you want to go to special appearance, challenge jurisdiction, and appropriate persona.
Right.
Look, what you need to do, if this is the 8th, you need to get on a conditional acceptance right now, and then tell in the conditional acceptance, charge them with all these facts. You did this. You kidnapped me. You assaulted me. If they touched you at all, they sexually assaulted you.
They did.
Put all these charges on you, or on them, and get them with experience. Get them with everything, kidnapping and physical assault and sexual assault and conspiracy. Every one of the charges that you charge them with, also rename it and say conspiracy to commit a sexual assault and conspiracy to commit sexual assault. Battery, conspiracy to commit battery. Do that and send that to them. Get the judge, get the cop, get the clerk, get the court itself. Do all this beforehand, so when you got to go in there on the 8th, you can go in there and say, look, the only reason I'm here is because if I don't show up, your thugs will rape me again. Okay? Your thugs will kidnap me and rape me again. And they're not going to say anything. When you go in there and you say that, they're not going to say anything. And then say, look, I'm here making a special appearance to challenge a jurisdiction. I'm here in propria persona. Furthermore, I am assigning each and every one of you involved in this as the trustees in this trust, this beneficial trust action, which you all have created. And now I'm here, only naturally assuming that you are here to pay me the money that you contractually owe me.
Indemnify me?
if you get the conditional acceptance in, like ASAP, and they've had 10 days to respond by the 8th, and they have it, right? They've already contractually agreed that they owe you money. They will.
No, I haven't sent the conditional acceptance. That's what my question was. I already sent the 72-hour refuse to show up at the arraignment, but I'm going to. That's why I was asking you, do I do a conditional acceptance with the facts in affidavit form notarized?
No, you don't have to affidavit nothing.
Okay.
No, do the conditional acceptance, have it notarized, mail it to them. There's no sense in an affidavit because this is a contract. This is a common law contract that you're sending them, and they're going to agree to it. They'll, if you want to think about it, they'll be filing an affidavit that all this is true. Get that conditional acceptance in, and then they'll be biased. They won't be able to do anything to you. So when you go in there, you can say, you all have agreed to be trustees in the trust action, and you've all agreed that you've committed these crimes, and you've all agreed that you owe me money. So I'm here to get paid. Who's paying? And if you don't see them running out of the room and case closed and all that stuff, that's what you got. But you already, with the conditional acceptance, they already owe you.
Okay. I'm going to run that through your email. I'm Belinda 4JC. Hey, Chris, on that note, though, I'm sorry, there's so much going on right now. On that note, I assigned them as the trustees in the conditional acceptance. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. They wouldn't release their names. Sorry?
You don't know who the cop is?
They wouldn't give me their names. I have just the person who wrote the report against me and the clerk of courts and the judge's names. I tried to call the sheriff department. They wouldn't give me their names. Well, they did, actually. It was the correction facility that they would.
Listen, include the sheriff.
Okay, so the sheriff by his name. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's who asked it.
The corrections facility.
You could also get the administrator of the jail.
Okay, the jail admin. Okay. Yeah, they said that it's. I even said I'll do a FOIA, whatever I need. I've contacted Bonds for the Winds. They haven't given me anything, and I just I knew instinctively. I was telling them as they were doing this to me. I said I'm going to have your bonds. I'm going to have your bonds. I'm going to have each one of your guys' bonds. So so the conditional acceptance is what I need to do and get it registered, mailed to them. Correct?
Yeah, certified mail, return receipt.
Okay. All right.
Get it mailed to them. The judge.
Breaking up, Chris.
Yeah, broke up. The judge.
The judge. You're going to get the judge, the clerk, the prosecutor. You're going to get the sheriff and the administrator, and the cop that wrote the report. Okay.
Okay, I got the judge, clerk, prosecutor, administrator, and the guy who wrote the report.
You're going to get the sheriff. You're going to get the administrator of the jail. You're going to get the cop that wrote the report. You're going to get the clerk of the court, the judge. I guess it's probably your circuit court. Right. And you're going to get the If you don't know who's prosecuting the case, then you're going to get the what's his name? The district attorney.
Okay, district attorney.
If you don't know who's prosecuting the case, get the district attorney.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to probably repeat that.
Usually it's the cop that writes the ticket, or the cop, the detective that's investigating. They are usually a prosecutor. You're going to have a prosecutor up there from the prosecution's office, the prosecutor's office, but the actual prosecutor is the cop that wrote the ticket, or the cop that did the investigation. they like to pack it all off on the cop. So if they lose, it's the cop's fault, not theirs.
Okay.
Yeah, most cops wouldn't be cops if they knew their ass was on the line every time they went in there.
Right. Oh, that's what one of the correctional guys told me. He says, I've been here 8 years and I've heard that all, throughout my 8 years, and nothing's never been done to me. And I'm like, okay, let's just see about that. So
I said, okay, if you're so sure about it, give me your name.
Yeah. See, that's it. He had me bound in a chair. I couldn't move.
Give me your name.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't have anything to write on. They had me bound in a chair for over 3 hours strapped. They didn't even let me use the latrine, nothing. So it was torture and kidnapping and then, ransom and everything, extortion for my signature. But so I appreciate that. I'm going to get that to you so that you can look at my final product before I email that. And I'm sorry, before I send that out. But my name is Belinda for JC. Sir, my next question is, how do I sign my statement coupons for my utility payments? I heard things that, like, they're supposed to be paid on our behalf. Do you know anything about that?
You sign them with the beneficiary signature. Flip that coupon over and sign it just like a check.
Do I have to include my Social Security number?
No, they've already got it. The light company's already got your Social Security. That's why you can sign it with the beneficiary signature. They've already accepted that they're trustees and you're the beneficiary.
Okay. So I don't have to say except for value, nothing like that? Just sign it?
You don't have to do none of that A for V stuff.
Okay,
sure that's
awesome.
Piss a bunch of gurus off.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Belinda. I'll be looking for it.
Okay, Waterloo, you're next, 260.
Hello, everybody. Chris, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
This is Tatiana, and thank you so much for taking my question. So I received 1099-C for the business debt of my own that was discharged by Discover. They filtered that it was my income, and now I have to pay taxes on that. So I'm thinking about correcting it, but I don't know what form to use. Is it 1099 OID?
No, you're talking about. Here's what they did. They did a 1099-C and canceled the debt.
Yeah.
Now they want you to pay taxes on an amount that was canceled. That doesn't make any sense at all. But take that coupon that they gave you from the taxes and send it in with the 1099-A for the balance.
Sent to who?
To the IRS.
Sent to who?
You got a letter from the IRS saying taxes, right?
I don't think it came from IRS. I think it came from Discover. That was a copy. I think it was copy B or something like that. Maybe it did came from it. It doesn't say it came from IRS. I don't know. But it was legit 1099-C.
Which copy is it?
Look, so I don't know. It's in my office somewhere. But the thing is, it is 1099-C, and maybe it did came from IRS. I just don't remember it came from IRS.
Look, whoever it came from is claiming that you owe some back taxes based on the money from the cancellation of debt. Send them a 1099-A for the amount. It's that simple, man. You could probably send it to them certified mail. Matter of fact, I would send it to them certified mail return receipt. Make up a nice little letter. Make sure you got the postal rule in there, and say, look, I'm making an attempt to settle this debt. Enclosed, you'll find a 1099-A. If you notice on the back, it's endorsed with my beneficiary signature. This is a common law contract via the postal rule, and
right.
So we have a contract that you have accepted this payment, and then you pay
it doesn't matter. Right. But wouldn't they get the double payment then? Because they already getting money from the Treasury now. Because they filed this.
Are. Absolutely.
So they're going to get double paid.
Yeah, that's why I say it doesn't. Put that in the letter. Enclosed, you'll find a 1099-A for the balance. Although I know that you've already been paid from the Treasury by the 1099-C. I already know that you're double dipping. Here's the payment.
Wouldn't be
just
easy. No, it's not making sense. It's like a feeding a cow. They don't deserve that.
When has the government ever made sense?
I'm not talking about government. I'm talking about Discover, who reported that I abandoned the account, and they say that they want money for that money. They basically requesting from Treasury those money now because they say it was not even 36 months. So I don't see why.
Did they do the 1099-C based on your bankruptcy?
No, I didn't file.
So they decided to cancel the debt. Did you ask them to cancel the debt?
No, I didn't. I have no idea that they would even do.
So why should you pay taxes on a debt that you've had canceled that they decided to cancel?
There's a lot of.
Hey, I know. Here's the thing: you don't want them getting extra money, and I'm totally fine with that. So send them a letter saying, "Look, wait a minute. Why are you trying to get money out of me when a 1099-C cancels the debt? What are you trying to do? Commit fraud?"
No, they're not trying to get any money from me anymore. They already received the money, and I'm just trying to bounce that tax that's hanging on me right now. So I'm just thinking, what form do I need to correct that 1099-C that they send, because they want me to pay tax on that money. And plus, they put more money there.
Who wants you to pay the taxes, them or the IRS?
The IRS, because they checked box 5 and they put amount of money there, and they put much more interest in there, which.
So who they're claiming you owe the money to is the IRS, right?
Right now, IRS just telling me that I will have to pay that in taxes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was canceled, you now have to pay it as a tax. So if you're going to pay a 1099-A, then you're going to do it to the IRS. Okay.
You can
either send the 1099-A to the IRS and pay it that way, or you can what you can do is you can argue this in tax court. Well, those are probably your two greatest options. Me personally, I would just choose to send the payment. I don't care what they get it. I know you don't want to pay something you don't think you owe. I understand that. I totally get it. And you can actually argue.
I was wondering if I could just argue that this debt does not even belong to me, because since there is no wet signature,
it doesn't belong
there is
to
no
you.
debt.
It belongs to the trust. It doesn't belong to you. No debt to you at all. It belongs to the trust.
No, I mean, I could just say there was never, ever any contract. They don't have a proof that I had a contract. If there is no wet signature, there is no contract, technically.
Yeah, where is it? You can argue that. I'm not telling you don't, ma'am. I'm not telling you don't argue it. Hell, I love to argue. I love to argue. If you're ready for that. But, I mean, you can, I'm just saying, you could send a 1099-A and wash your hands all this and all within a day, just mailing something, and let it go. Or you can argue it. It's how much energy do you want to put in it?
Right. and my energy is very important to me. Right.
Yeah, it is. You know, every taxpayer is a Cestui Que Trust. When the IRS calls you and says you owe taxes, you say, no, I don't. The trust does. Get it from the trust. Have a nice day, trustee, and hang up.
They would never call. They will just lien you.
Yeah.
I already have penalties from IRS.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Another just small question about coupon, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people could benefit from this. So, when we send coupon letter, do those funds will come out of the trust?
Yes.
So isn't that
coming out of the trust
easier to send
them in? They're coming out of the trust when you send them in with your check. When you send a coupon in, all your life you've been sending payments in with your coupons. The coupon is redeemed trust, and then they take the money in your check too. They're double dipping. Every one of them's done it.
Yeah, but if we never send any checks, everything was done digitally, how can I accuse them in double dipping?
They're doing it anyway. They got your permission. The day that you sign the thing saying, would you like to go paperless? You've agreed to allow them to create coupons, a digital coupon. You ever heard of digital coupon?
No.
That's what they're
I haven't,
doing.
I guess. Okay, so it comes from thank you.
When a company sends you a coupon and you see it on your phone, that's a digital coupon. You go to the store and say, hey, lady at the store, look at this coupon I got on my phone. And they hold it up there, and then they got some digital square thing with all these little black and white squares all over it. That's a digital coupon.
Yeah.
They create them that way, and they're saving a tree doing it.
So in some cases...
Okay, so listen, we do have some other people that are waiting. We got to get going here.
Okay.
Right, thank you. Okay, Martin, you're next.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
That's so Martin.
All right. How y'all doing? What's going on, Chris? Hey, man, appreciate you so much for y'all for your intellectual property and your time. All right, so first thing, do you approve of the trust law book that is in the files that is in the group?
The trust law books?
Yeah, in the group, underneath files, when you type in trust law, there's a book. Do you approve of that book?
No, I don't. I'm getting ready to go through there and clean a bunch of that stuff out.
All right, great. All right, so next question. My parents are currently on SSI. They're receiving benefits. They didn't know anything about this information. Is it too late for them to go back and revert everything and get an on ledger, off ledger, and collect the check?
Yes, it is. They recontracted. They recontracted at 65, but they can use it. They can use the 99A.
Cool.
Still use the trust like you can use it right now.
Okay, great. All right, and then 2018, I was driving in the oil field as a 1099 driver. The company, they never sent my Schedule C to me, but they did report it to the IRS. And of course, I got hit with a $4,000 bill. So my thing is I'm pretty sure from that last lady, I'm just 1099A them and get it over with.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yep. That's how I did it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks a lot, man.
Okay, Arkansas, you're next.
Chris, I would like to know, we send an unmonetized copies of the claim of lien to the witnesses when we send the package to the Treasury?
No.
So they don't get copies?
The claim of liens will get monetized, okay? And then they'll get assigned to the assignment document to the Secretary of the Treasury. And then that assignment, the liens, and a copy of, well, an original wet signature, conditional acceptance will go. Now, if you're going to do it with a $100 million bond, or any bond for that matter, you're going to monetize the bond, you're going to assign it, and then send the bond and the assignment with the contract to the Treasury. That makes sense?
So, yeah, so
The
whenever
people
we send...
In the conditional acceptance there, dude, the people have already been noticed that there's a claim of lien. The conditional acceptance is the claim of lien.
Right. Well, I was thinking of the whenever we send out the packet to the Treasury, aren't we supposed to notice the two attorney generals, the state and the federal?
Yeah.
Or am I missing something?
No. If you look at the contract and the contract videos, you'll see that they're noticed along with the Secretary of the Treasury. Both the Attorney General of the United States and the Attorney General of the state that you're in will get a copy of the contract that's going to the Treasury.
But they don't need to get copies of the QLs.
No, they're not going to get the originals. You'll send them, like say if you're going to do a conditional acceptance, and you're going to send the originals to the Treasury, and then you can make copies of the conditional acceptance, the claim of liens, and the assignment document. You can make copies of those and send those with the Treasury not to the Treasury, but both of the Attorney Generals, and then they get copies of everything. But see, they're going to know too. They're going to know that the Secretary of the Treasury is also on there too, because they'll have everyone has everyone else's contract numbers.
Right.
All right.
Okay. I think that answers my question.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So have a blessed night.
Area code 773. You're next.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys for all your help with all of this stuff. We really, really appreciate it. I have a couple of questions. I'm going to start with the easy one. And that is, well, first off, a statement. I'm a realtor. I'm in Chicago. So for all those veterans you're looking to put in homes, I will be more than willing to help any of them. I actually own my own real estate brokerage. So I will do whatever I can to help anybody out if there's anybody you know in this area.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Second, working with some people when it comes to acquiring real estate, is there a way, if I'm the one that's acting as the trustee for the buyer and I'm filing all the documents, because on the seller's part, sometimes they want to deal with a title company or an escrow agent. Is there a way to use the 1199A to have those funds sent to the escrow agent instead of directly to the seller?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that would be the
799A. Whoever you want the money to go, whoever you want the money to go to, you're going to put on the 1040V, and you're going to put it on the 1199.
Okay, so it'll go on the 1040V as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They'll be the ones who will be on the whole, well, except for the 96, you'll be on the 96. But the rest of them will go. The rest of the documentation will go to the escrow, whoever the point of contact is in the escrow, because they're going to be the ones that are going to get the check.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as so let me make sure I understand this. So the 1099A, the buyer gives me filled out with their information as the borrower, the Treasury as the lender, description of the property. They are not checking box 5. When I fill out the OID, is that where I'm going to put the title company information?
Yeah. Everybody who's going to get check. Everybody.
Okay.
Whoever's going to get the check is the one that needs to be on the information.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Whoever it is in the escrow company or the title company that's going to receive the funds has to be on there, because that's who the OID is, or the 1099A is going to pay. If it was you, then it would go to you. But see, then you can have it all go to you, and then you can just endorse it over or get the money from the funds and out of the electronic transfer funds, and then take it to or you can go to the bank and say, look, when this money hits the bank, I want this money to go from this account to that account.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Way.
That way I'm still trustee and acting as a fiduciary doing that.
Yeah, that'd be a better way to do it anyway. Just have it all go to you and go to your account. And then as soon as it hits your account, it's transferred to the escrow account.
That actually does make better sense. I like that. I've had a couple people ask me about the 1040V and that it looks like they're actually paying out. How would you explain that to people when they say, well, wait a minute, it looks like I'm sending out the money?
Yeah, these are not traditional approaches to this. Traditionally, you would use the 1040V. It's a payment voucher, but here's the deal: because the Treasury is the lender, the voucher's going to the person. It's like this: if you were working as a miner in a mine back in the old days, your boss man would give you the pay voucher, and then you would take the pay voucher to the window and you'd get paid, right? That's how the 1040V in this case.
Gotcha.
You're turning the pay voucher over to the window, to pay window, to get paid. Because in the way it's using it.
Okay, that makes yes, it actually does. It makes perfect sense. Two last really quick questions. Mortgage with a credit union, probably have about 15 years left. Use a 1099A to pay it off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then next question. Since I do own my real estate brokerage, when I file my taxes every year, we file them and then everything goes to me, and now I'm on a payment plan for those taxes. Is there any way to get out of that or no?
Do you know what taxes are?
They're what's the word? A contribution.
Yeah, contribution imposed. Imposed means to trick. Stop being tricked, man. I don't know why. This is So are the taxes yours, or are the taxes from your real estate company?
The company.
Okay. So how come you're paying taxes for the company?
Good question.
How come they're trying to say they're your taxes when they're saying that they're the company's taxes? And who's the trustee?
Gotcha.
The trustee is supposed to make sure that the taxes are being paid, not the beneficiary. You're the beneficiary of your real.
Yes.
Right. You're the beneficiary of your real estate agency. How is it that the beneficiary is supposed to be expected to even know there's taxes due?
Excellent. So I can use a 1099A and get rid of that as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. That is all I have. Now, wait, for the mortgage, would I order a payoff letter and send in with the 1099A since I don't use a coupon?
Yeah, tell them you want a statement. Tell them you want a statement with a detachable coupon because you intend to pay it off in full. And you need the statement with the coupon for your record. And they'll send you a paper statement. Believe me, they will.
Excellent. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Area code 678. You're next. Joshua? Your phone just unmuted. Unmute your phone. 678.
Joshua, unmute your phone.
Okay. I'm going to ask one more time. Area code 678. Josh, unmute your phone. Say something or we're going to mute you. Okay, bye. In Albany, New York, 518 area code. Go ahead.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for doing this again, answering all of our questions. I have just a couple. This should be pretty quick. I'm sending a payment to a company, and I just want to make sure that in filling out all the forms for them, I want to tell them to send it to the right place. Now, I see on the instructions, it says to send some of the forms to different locations. Are we supposed to ignore that and instead all the forms go to 1111 Constitution Ave?
Yeah, all of them go to 1111 Constitutional Avenue.
Okay, I thought so, but I was reading something different. So
You probably got one in Ogden, Utah or something like that, right?
What's that?
Do you have one that says Ogden, Utah?
Yeah, that sounds about right. One says Austin. Yeah, there's a bunch of different places.
Because remember, you're sending them to the Treasury.
Right, okay.
Even though it's the IRS's building, you're sending them to the Treasury. You send them all there, and they're going right down the hall. They're in the big house where everything shakes.
Thank you. And then on the payment voucher, the 1040V, it says your first name, so I assumed it was supposed to be me in the beneficiary name, but that would be incorrect, right? Would that instead be the trustee for this?
Whoever's going to get the check.
Yeah,
usually
thank you.
Whoever's acting as the trustee.
Okay. Great. And then my last question is, though there's no conflict in paying this bill, they agreed they would try this form. They said just make it easy for us and, we'll do what we can. Is it still necessary to send it with some kind of letter letting them know it's a contract? I mean, I don't want to be adversarial in any way at all.
Absolutely. If you're going to send it certified mail, you want to send it certified mail because it is a contract.
Okay.
You don't have to say in this letter, you contractually agree that you accepted this. If you put the postal rule in it, they already have.
Okay. So that would kind of sum everything up if I just simply put the postal rule in there and enclosed you'll find the form?
You'll find a 1099A or a coupon or whatever. Some places are wanting to try this because they like to get paid.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. 831 area code. Go ahead.
Hey guys, thank you for being here. My name's Bernadette. Thank you for hosting this call. My first question would be, to go and purchase a vehicle, what date do I put in box 1 if I'm using a 1099 for the year of 2021?
In box 1?
Right, as far as the date.
The date. I thought you said the state. My bad. The date is the day you're going to buy the car.
So if I'm buying the car in February,
walk into the dealership and you're going to go, I got this 1099A and I'm going to buy this car and we got a deal? Yeah, let's do this thing. Put the date in there and the amount and all that.
So it doesn't matter if the date is the year 2022, but the 1099 form is an actual 2021 form.
You can only use it. You can only use the 2021 through March. Through March, and then you have to use. I'm pretty sure that's what it says in the instructions. You can use it through March. It used to be January the 31st. Then you had to use the year that you're in. But you should be able to use it anyway because, and you should be able to use the 2021 to the end of this year because by using it, it's basically used as an amendment. You know how you pay your taxes on April the 15th, and then right around up in the fall, you figure out that, look, man, I messed up. I should have got more money, or I messed up and I should have paid more money. You can do what's called an amendment. Well, that's what it's doing if you wanted to use one older. It just may take a little longer to get it done. I know that right now everybody's having a hard time getting the 1099As from the IRS. That's because everybody's getting them there and getting them.
And my next question was, is it possible to do the 1099A online at that online.com, 1099aonline.com? No. Okay, so it has to be the paper format from the IRS.
I know some people that have tried that, but I personally wouldn't do that because when you do that, when you do a 1099A online, it's not being used for what you're using it for normally, and you don't get the option to sign the back of it. And signing the back of it with a wet signature actually makes it a security. If you signed it online, it's not a security. It's being used for something else. It would be more of an abandonment. See, that 1099A is used two ways. It's used for acquisition and it's used for abandonment. When you abandon a secured property, i.e. a bank account, someone dies and leaves a bunch of money in a bank account, and there's nobody for it to go to. Rich old dude dies, and didn't leave a beneficiary in the bank account. Well, that bank account has been abandoned. And the bank is going to file after so many months of the guy being dead, usually 3 months, and after the birth or after the death certificate. They turn around and they file a 1099A, and they can do that electronically because it's an abandonment issue, not it's an abandonment of secured property, not an acquisition. And what we're using the 1099A for, folks, is an acquisition. We're acquiring the credits or the funds from the trust to purchase whatever, or the trustees are using it to purchase something. It's that form is twofold.
And so my last question would be, would I be able to use the 1099A because my parents have passed away? And so that trust is, I guess, abandoned, right?
The minute they died and the death certificate went forward, it was abandoned, and then they 1099A, right? The trustees are the Social Security Administration, and if you die, what happens is they file a 1099A against the trust so that they can collect it. Oh, it's been abandoned. We got to go in here and get this out. You see what I'm saying? You can't do that. If you'd have been made the beneficiary of the trust, but you can't. You can't be. Only a spouse can be a beneficiary of your Social Security Cestui Que Trust, and that is because those two trusts were joined in marriage.
Oh, so the kids are not the beneficiary.
Yeah, if your parents were married and one passed, then the other one could access the trust because their two trusts were married. That's what a legal marriage law does, folks. It marries the trust. It doesn't marry you.
I did find the marriage license, and it had a number on that. Would I be the beneficiary of that marriage license because I'm the oldest child?
No. Did you create the marriage license?
No.
It doesn't belong to you. That's what I try to tell everybody. Y'all folks in the last video. There's nothing you can do to the birth certificate because it doesn't belong to you. How do you know it doesn't belong to you? Because you didn't create it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't create the marriage license. You didn't create the birth certificate or the Social Security card. They did. The grantors, the settlers did that. So it doesn't belong to you.
Okay.
That's why
I got it.
I wish we. Okay, thank you. Our next caller, I think, is from a blocked phone. It says anonymous. When your phone unmutes, it's your turn. So everybody pay attention. Listen up. If you're on a blocked phone, your phone unmutes, it's your turn. Here we go.
Hi, this is Arizona John. I've got a couple of questions.
Why are you anonymous?
We better not discuss that on the air.
Okay.
I'm working undercover, okay?
All right.
This is my best phone. It has a nice speaker.
Okay.
Here we are. I was wanting to know, Chris, do you know of any place we can go right now in the United States for trucks, cars, RVs, or real estate that will do it now?
No.
The 1099A process.
Nope. No, I don't. Right offhand. I know a lot of people that have claimed you can get them here, and you can't, and or you can't. I've heard a lot of people say, "I got one from here," or I got one, and they failed to say where it is they got it from.
Well, I wonder why they would not want to tell us.
I don't know. Maybe they're hoarding them out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the other thing,
the guy
excuse me. I have
John.
question on the check. You said they're going to send a check. Okay. Where are they going to send it? They're going to send it directly to, say, me, the beneficiary, and then I pay the car dealer, or are they going to send it direct to the car dealer?
They're going to send it to the address on the 1040V. That's in your case of buying it at a dealership. It's going to be sent to the whoever's acting as the trustee in the dealership. They're not going to send the money. If you could take a 1099A and be the borrower and then just send it off to the Treasury and them send you the money, well, then it wouldn't be a trust. It'd be a bank account.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's why you have to have the trustee do this for you.
Okay.
I can tell you all the dealerships that I use, but they're not going to talk to you about it. You can call them and ask them, but they're not going to talk to you about it because they blew it.
Okay.
Chevrolet and New C.
I do have a used truck facility that I know the owner real well. We've been friends for 30 years, and he's president and owner, and he has Peterbilts and dump trucks and everything you could imagine in the big trucks, and even small trucks. But anyway, I was going to attempt to discuss this with him and see if he'd want to try it. And I technically think I make him the trustee. I really need that Peterbilt dump truck, so I'd be the beneficiary that's in dire need of it, and he could agree, yes, you need it, and here we go.
I got a big bunch of dirt at my to move, man. I need
What's that?
Bunch of dirt need to move.
Okay.
I got a big bunch of wood at my house to move. I really need a
Well,
truck.
he also sells heavy equipment. He's got wheel loaders. I think he's got some in there up to 6 yards. So we got, track excavators, dozers to D10. If I could work this out with him, there's a world there, and I would share it with you.
Yeah. Hey, where this has all gotten into just recently, folks, is where people are doing this with other people. I got my dad's got a truck, man, and it's only a couple years old, and I want to buy it from him. Or my uncle has a construction company, and he said he's willing to try it. That's where we're probably going to start seeing the success at, in these little deals between each other. I got a car. Yeah, are you willing to take a 1099-A? Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do this, and it's these little deals that are coming off of this, and as they start to see success, well, you know how people are with dealerships and people are in the housing market wanting to sell houses and stuff. When they figure out that the little guys are doing this, believe me, they're going to figure out how the big guys can do it. And like I said, the dealership.
Well, that's what I thought. If we could start, I'm willing to try to meet with him here pretty soon and try to go over the process real well. And I wonder, okay, say we had all the paperwork perfect, got it sent off to Treasury and everything else, and he has to send it. What do you think time frame is on him to get a payment from them?
Well, if he does the 1199A with it, it should only be about 2 or 3 weeks. It could be sooner, though, John. It could be sooner than that, though. You know what I'm saying? You send it by mail. You're sending it from Arizona.
I'll tell you what. He's a licensed dealer in Arizona. That's all I'm going to say for now. And if this worked, he would love it. I mean, it's like he wants $20,000 for this, and here's the form, and he gets $20,000. There's no dicking around.
Yeah, there's no haggling or anything like that. Matter of fact, you can say, look, man, he says I want $25,000 for this. Well, I tell you what, seeing how we're good friends and I like you, I'm just going to give you 30.
Yeah, that would blow his mind.
Well, that's what a lot of people started about a month ago. They went and started going into these dealerships and, well, the car's $80,000. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a slick 95. I'll give you over what you're asking for it, because that's what it's worth to me. I need this now.
Yeah, but did it work? Did it work though?
I've talked to a whole bunch of people who have claimed that it's worked. One guy out there in Houston, or actually the Fort Worth area, he said that he had a Suzuki dealer call him and tell him he would take the 1099A, and he went and gave the 1099A, and 3 days later he had put pictures up on my messenger, him on his new Suzuki 1000 or 2022 Suzuki 1000 crotch rocket. I've heard people say, I got this one to accept it, and I'll let you know what's going on, and then you never hear from them.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
With me, Tad and I have been friends for many years, and it would absolutely be a different story for you.
Yeah, I tell you, whoever starts watching this roll is going to be the first to make the money. That's all there is to it, man. That's all there is to it. Whatever dealership jumps on this, how many people you think are going to go to them?
Now, I don't know if any, how many would go. I'm sure there will be a lot, but, a lot of people, 90% of the people out there are never going to do this, or more. It's a higher percentage probably.
Say it's in Kansas that's willing to take these, and 2 or 3 people go there and buy brand new cars, and they blast this up on the Telegram channel. It's not. Here's who you need to talk to. Talk to this guy right here. And people start doing it, and then people come back on Telegram. There's 80 people come back and go, hey, I just talked to George in Kansas there, man. I'm driving out to Kansas. This guy, this is going to be able to keep the cars on the lot. He's not.
All right, I like it. Do I have time for one more?
No.
It was about real estate. Is that more complicated or similar speed? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month?
I'd say it's the same amount of time.
Okay.
And it seems like I've heard more success stories on the real estate, John.
Okay. I appreciate it, Chris. Talk to you later, guys. Take care.
Okay. Anthony, 630, you're next. You've been waiting.
Hey, Chris. I just have 2 quick questions. One about acquiring a home and one about a secure party creditor. For a home, I was able to...
Okay.
Hello?
Is in the event I'm able to acquire the home, how do I close without registering the title?
How do you close without registering the title? Tell them you don't want to register it.
The title company?
Tell them you don't want to register it, man. Why would I want to give my property away? Break out the definition for registration.
Right. So then
strike it out of the contract. If registration is in language in the contract at all, draw a line through it and initial it.
Okay.
You don't have to register anything, man.
Agreed. I just want to make sure that the title company didn't register on my behalf.
Yeah, I'd tell them, no, don't register it. If I want it registered, I'll register it myself.
Okay. And then in the event that I'm unable to get the home, will I be able to conditionally accept with the...
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
That's my question on the
look,
man. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, go ahead. Answer it. Ask it.
No. Go ahead. That's on the real estate. That was the question on the real estate side. My other question was as a secure party.
Look,
go ahead.
Whenever you're denied, whenever someone becomes a fiduciary, and they deny to even try to do it for you. All right, I'm not even going to try this. That's malfeasance of office. They're supposed to do everything in their power to do what's beneficial for the beneficiary. And that's really, if you think about it, all these people that are out here that are too scared to do it, all they would have to do is say, look, man, if anything went bad about it, all they could do was say, look, I had a fiduciary obligation to the trust. I had to do everything in my power to do what was beneficial for the beneficiary. So if I did something wrong or I didn't dot the I or cross the T, all I was doing was the best that I could do for my beneficiary. That's how simple it would be for anyone who was in a trusteeship to cover their ass. Hey, man, I was just doing, my beneficiary came to me and said, I want to try this, and I have to do as a trustee and a fiduciary obligation, I have to do what's beneficial for the beneficiary. I thought it would be beneficial, so I tried it. Slapped my wrist and pushed me on down the road. what a lot of people fail to, what a lot of these dealerships and people that are refusing to do these 1099As don't realize that they cover their ass by going, I was only doing what I was supposed to do for the trust. Would you want me to be malfeasant? If I'm not doing something wrong, then go ahead and help me fulfill this obligation. If I am doing something wrong, tell me. And that's what they will do. If you do this and you send all this paperwork off to the Treasury and you're doing something wrong, they're going to tell you. That's BS if you don't think that the IRS will call you. They will call you. What they won't do is call you and ask you for your Social Security number. When they call you, they'll say, am I speaking to Christopher Allen Hauser? Well, yeah, I am. That's me. Can you tell me your date of birth? And you'll tell them the date of birth. And then they'll say, is your last four a number? You know what I mean? They will call you on the phone. They won't ask you for your Social Security number. But they might say after they ask you, what's your mother's maiden name? Then they may turn around and go, is the last four of your Social Security number 1234? Well, yes, it is. Then they've identified who you are. That they're speaking to the taxpayer. The IRS will call you. The Treasury will call you. I've had calls from the Inspector General's office. There's a way that they will ask you for information, but you won't give it to them straight out like a phone scammer will do. So if you're doing anything wrong, they're going to call you or they're going to send you a letter. Hey, don't do this. No one ever gets hit with the civil penalty without being warned first. No one has ever sent a frivolous filing letter and hit with the civil penalties without getting a letter from the IRS going, this is a frivolous filing, don't do it again. Now, and here's a little pamphlet that we send out to everyone who does a frivolous filing. You're going to get warned. There really isn't any fear at all in doing this paperwork because if you do something wrong or you're not supposed to be doing it, they're going to tell you straight off the rip, hey, this is frivolous, don't do this again. And then do it again, and then see what happens. We warned you. Now you're getting a civil penalty. That's how the IRS works. So, and it seems like real estate. I've heard a lot more positive things come from the real estate side of this because they're more familiar with the 1099A process.
All right, so does that answer your question?
Partially. The other part is, as a secure party creditor, will we have greater access to the trust? And do you recommend that we?
Your phone broke up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Appreciate the patience. I was asking, do you recommend that we become a secure party creditor? And as a secure party creditor, would we gain greater access to the trust?
Well, the thing about the secured party creditor, the way most people are explaining this now is the $100 million bond, guys. That's how I'm a secured party creditor. I'm a secured party creditor, so to speak, because I've got a contract with the Treasury, them agreeing they owe me money. That's what the conditional acceptance in the contract with the Treasury will get you. There is greater access to your trust because now that everybody wants to find out what their on ledger and off ledger is. But you're not going to find that until you're not 65, and then you're going to probably have to do some battling with the IRS to get them to give up all of that stuff. And I mean like 10 years of fighting in the court system to get them to do this, because they don't want to tell you they're putting $1.2 million or $1.4 million in your trust every year. They're not going to tell you that. But what it will do is it'll let you know that you have at least X amount of dollars or X amount of millions of dollars in your trust. And then from there you write the letters of credit. I was speaking last night to some guys that are in the Moors. They're Moors, and they were talking about their the bonds that they have. One of them's got a receipt from Knox County for like $300 million. And wait a minute, you got a receipt for $300 million? Yeah, a receipt that they gave that I've got this much in the county. We want to get with your broker guy and see if we can get some cars and stuff. I said, I don't know why you're doing all that. If you've got a receipt, I don't know why you're not writing letters of credit on what you got. This isn't what they're talking about. Isn't the $100 million bond thing, though. It's something completely different. And I'll keep everybody up on that, how that goes down as I find out. These guys are getting ready to make some big moves with theirs. And as soon as I see how it goes with them, I'm sure they'll be more than willing to share the process. But I want to make sure that it's going to go down the way they need it to go down. But the guys out here, you secured party creditor guys, you got these bonds, write a contract. Give it to the Treasury and let them collect for a fee. If there's any money in that bond, if there's $100 million in that bond, they're going to collect it. They're going to collect that bond. And think about it. When you look up the word bond in the dictionary, the legal dictionary, and see what that really means, yeah, the Treasury can do this. They can go in and get the money out. And the way that the Treasury is, with the ability to just take money out of thin air and put it here and there, if they think that they can get, $35 million out of a bond, they're going to put $100 million in it. They're going to put it in it. I think that the guys with the $100 million bonds probably got a better chance of getting the money than not. Than being told, hey, this is BS, don't be doing this. They probably stand a 65% chance of getting the money. So the secured party creditors, I hear this a lot, but none of y'all can. I've heard a few people say they've discharged some debt, took care of some hospital bills, but I haven't seen anything big. You got $100 million. You ought to be living the life of O'Reilly. Well, we're going to find out. I'm waiting for these $100 million bond guys to send me a copy of their contract so I can look it over for them. They can get it sent out. I'm still waiting on those. I don't know if some of them are shaky and wondering if, I'll let somebody else do it and see how it works for them.
All right, so we do have 22 people waiting.
All right.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Marcos, I think you've been waiting a while. You're next. 917 area code.
All right, thank you guys a million here for all the hard work you do, Chris, admins, and even you folks asking all the questions there. It's very all informative and definitely appreciate your dedicated time. I'll fly through my questions here as quick as I can. Chris, you've probably seen my emails. I've been trying to catch up with you for 2 weeks, but I know you're extremely overwhelmed and thinned out as much as possible. But I'm the gentleman in the situation where right now the bank has me cornered. I'm in a foreclosure, moved into a short sale, and the bank just approved the short sale about 2 weeks ago. And so they want me to move quickly before they withdraw the opportunity they're supposedly giving me to move into the short sale. I just bumped into this whole process, praying and asking, and just bumped into it about 3 weeks ago at the most. Between raising 2 kids, I haven't really had the opportunity to feel confident in moving forward in the steps that you have provided there. But my suggestion would be, if possible, the sooner the better, and you guys have already done a ton of work already, but if you can make a bullet point process step where basically for dummies, and it's gonna cut down on all these questions that are on Telegram and coming from every angle to you, including your email, including myself, to better understand things and have everything kind of structured. I understand they're in the videos. I'm actually going on leg number 3 now to basically put this all together. But to get to the point, I'm trying to get out of this problem that I'm in with the house and using a 1099 to offset the mortgage. I'm waiting for the orders from IRS to come in just like everybody else. But in the meantime, I have a coupon. I have an 80-20 mortgage. So for the 80 side, I have a coupon, and I was going to send that in to try to get that process going. If I don't get a response back that they've given me credit for it, then at that point I would move into the 1099A and send them that by just filling out the first coupon, because 3 of them come per page. And on the other 2, I'm voiding out those other 2 that are at the bottom. Do I write out void?
Yeah, no, there's a box. There's a box at the top that says void. You just check it or X it out.
Gotcha. Perfect. So check off those 2.
When they deny your coupon, send them a conditional acceptance.
The conditional acceptance right after that.
You've made an attempt to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
You've lawfully, when you send a coupon in, just the coupon, you've made a lawful attempt to settle the debt. And they're saying, if they say, no, we're not accepting this, they're not going to send you the coupon back for one. And if you do that, they will have agreed. And if they say that they haven't, well, then they've agreed anyway. There's no debt anymore. So I would move right into the acceptance. If they refuse your coupon, move right into the conditional acceptance.
Oh, you're breaking up, Chris. You're breaking up, Chris.
And they've admitted that they're guilty of fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud and theft and unjust enrichment and everything else that's involved in what they're doing in this foreclosure. They can't move. When you do the conditional acceptance, it freezes everything. They can't move in an honorable process with it. I wouldn't even wait around. As soon as you hear that they've not accepted the coupon, or you might hear that they have accepted it, which would stop everything completely. But if they refuse to accept the coupon, I'd tell you what, I'd send that coupon off, and then I have a conditional acceptance ready for when they don't accept it.
And that was actually.
And the time typing this all up and working on it, you've already got it done.
Right, and that was actually my next point. Since my window is so small here, because at the same time I don't want to lose an opportunity of where I can, get some cash out money and at least walk away with something. But on the conditional acceptance letter, I know we have a template there, and I just don't want to make that mistake of saying, okay, I think I got it right. And I know you're super busy and I'd like to proofread it with you, but if there's a way that we can put, since mortgage and cars are the most popular thing here, can we have one placed up there that would be done for someone in my situation trying to get rid of their mortgage?
Yeah, I hear you. There may be.
Chris, you're breaking up.
Chris, you got to move the bunny antennas to the left a little. I'm sorry, Chris. You broke up for the last 30, 40 seconds there.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I said I'll look. I had to set the phone down for a minute to look at something. I was looking at on my laptop there. There's probably a conditional acceptance in one of the other smaller groups that pertains to the mortgage. How you go about doing a conditional acceptance on the mortgage thing. I'll get into that and I'll look and. Let me see here. What did you say your email was again?
Mine should be Mark.
Yeah. Don't give out the actual address.
Right.
No, just tell me.
Yeah, you should see there, Mark Anthony, and then the rest.
Or the first six characters.
Yeah, on the email it should be Mark Anthony, blah 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 blah.
All right, that's good enough. Okay, I'll look for that, and as soon as I find one.
All right, I'm not going to put you on
I'll get it to you.
Yeah,
okay.
And I won't put you on a spot there. And the other thing was the cover letters and assignment that I'm supposed to hit them with, but that wouldn't be if I'm already hitting them with the acceptance letter. I don't need to do like a cover letter.
No, the other thing, the most important thing now is getting that coupon off and getting your conditional acceptance ready. Once you get the conditional acceptance ready and then mail it off, it's going to take 10 days for you to get for them to complete the contract by not making the term. So you're going to have 10 days after you sign it to start working on the claims of lien and all that stuff. This is a process. This is a stepping stone type of process.
Absolutely.
It'll come in little parts. But let me try and get you a conditional acceptance that pertains to the mortgage or to the foreclosure, so you'll be able to change the information to yours or whatever.
All right, super. Appreciate that. I just had a point I was going to throw in there. It's not a question, but another little point on the creative side. If you can create a video, it doesn't matter if it's you, Chris, or anyone on this planet that you feel confident, a video that we can use to present when we're going to, let's say, a dealership, or because I personally know a couple of realtors that own their own realtor and team and brokers, and if something short that can capture their attention and take it serious.
Yeah, there is. It's 1099 OID, 96 and 1040V video. There's already a video on the channel that explains what it is the trustees will do.
I know, but these people that we're trying to capture, we need something compressed in maybe like a 15-minute window, just, pointers, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
But I won't take up everybody else's time. I appreciate you guys.
Thank
Chris,
you very much.
Appreciate it, Mark.
Okay, so let's see. I think we got somebody else. Cheryl, 443 area code. Go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, good evening to everyone. Couple of remarks and then the question. Number one, I have a meeting next Thursday with the rental/dealer. I talked to the secretary today. She seems pretty knowledgeable as far as the process. I went down there last week, but he was on vacation and he didn't leave the key with her to the office. I don't know about a website, but I'm quite sure that's who you're talking about. And if I find that they're on the up and up, I will be working with them to an extent, and we'll see what we can get done. The other thing is the gentleman with the employer. I feel he should file the W-9 versus the W-8 bin. The woman that's having a court issue, or anybody else for that matter, stay away from the affidavits and do declarations. Now, with the two questions, but the 1040V, the dealer that I'm working with right now, or I got two different companies I'm working with, their names go on here. And in the payment slot, should that be negative, whatever the price is?
No, I've had that question asked me before. I know what you're trying to say. If you put it in negative, it'll balance it to zero. So.
Okay, because that's one of the biggest fears with both of them. Putting the amount in there that they say that they're going to pay to the Treasury.
No, I've had that question asked me a bunch of times.
Okay.
I don't, and we didn't. Okay, we didn't with the $204 million. We didn't do that, and the money's in the trust.
Okay, so when they put their information on it and the dollar amount, they're not sending anything in with it. And okay, so the next question would be: I'm looking at the 1199. The one that I draw it down, it for section 2. Says government agency's name, and have the IRS grant program office in that spot for Peachtree, Atlanta, Georgia. Is that what goes there, or?
Chris, you're breaking up. Chris.
I don't have it.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
I don't have it right now. Let me pull this up so I can.
Okay.
So I know what he's looking at right here. It's and you said it was what now?
In section 2. where it's asking for the government agency's name. The one that I drew down, it has in there Internal Revenue Service - Grant Program Office. And the address is Atlanta, Georgia.
Hang on just a second. I'm in a form generator when I was trying to pull up the I was just trying to pull up the form. It's got me in a generator. Let me see. I'll go right to the IRS. That way I can see it without.
Well, it's an SF form, so it wouldn't be the IRS.
Yeah, it's standard form.
Yeah.
Standard form.
Breaking up again.
Chris, you're breaking up.
Okay, you said in Section 2.
Yes, in Section 2, it has Internal Revenue Service - Grant Program Office as the government agency's name, and then the address, they have Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. What are you saying?
I'm asking, does that stay like that, or?
Yeah, it's like that on every one of them.
Well, on a different one I drew down, it wasn't the form for 2021. It's not on that one.
It's not on there, huh?
No.
See, I'm looking at the one. This one is January. This one here is June of '97.
Right, and the one I have is February 2020.
Yeah, and it's not. It is blank, right?
Yes, that part's blank.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
What does it say on yours?
On the one for.
Let me see if I can pull one that's more updated. Here's GSA.gov. Yeah, this one's 2020. The one I'm looking at now is 2021.
Oh, you did get a 21?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got a 2020.
Yeah.
And it's blank. Yeah. To be completed by payee or financial institution.
So that would be their bank then?
That would be them. Yeah, that would be them.
Okay.
That would be whatever institution is going to be the payee.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
I don't know. You were broke up, and then I was broke up there for a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm glad I was able to get on the call tonight, because this is the first that I'm hearing about the 1199.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right.
I just got to convince these people to put the amount in there and not have any fear that they got to pay that.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
All right.
Can't mistake you, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so Chris, it's been like an hour and a half. 2.5 hours. We still have like 20 plus people in the queue. We could be here all night. So you guys, again, join the mailing list at youhavetheright.com. Doing my best to send out notices. We're having some email problems with the host right now, so it's not reliable yet. But go to youhavetheright.com. Go ahead and join our mailing list. And also, I'm working on taking these calls and breaking them down by subject. So you can also look at the free preview at youhavetheright.com to get an idea of what I'm talking about. And I should have this call up by probably tomorrow sometime at talkshoe.com. I'll send the link out on Telegram, but you can also Google Tad's Talk Shoe, and you'll see the archive there. So, all right, Chris, again, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, Tad, maybe we can do the bullet points on your website.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Get something together and put the bullet points on your website.
Yeah.
Because that's a good idea.
Sure.
And then that way people can just get on your website, see the bullet points, and then use that as their template or whatever to go out and talk to these people.
Okay.
All right, brother?
All right, so hang on there. Everybody, thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Peace and blessings.